Yo, Kane fans, man, what's good? It's your boy Wise. About to go ahead and get into this Miami versus Notre Dame preview. Um, do my normal shout outs, man. Shout out all about the U83. Shout out Reek and Swag. Shout out Alonzo1219 and you family. Shout out to Rick Air. Shout out to Mark Rogers TV. Um, Shout out Birdman. Um, so we'll go ahead and just get into it, man. I watched the film. I know it was a couple of people that had asked me in the comments what I thought about the next game. And, we were kind of trying to talk about it before Virginia Tech, but I wanted to wait, So obviously the U is still undefeated. Um, College game day is coming to town. We're the underdog once again. I don't really care about that. Um, I think our boys going to show up, play the game that need to be played. So um, I'm gonna go through the keys for victory, man. Run through offense, defense, stuff like that. This video, yeah, y'all know my videos usually be pretty long, man, but I like to try to cover certain stuff. So we'll just get into it. I don't really care about the stats for this game. I feel like them season stats don't really matter as much right now because at the end of the day, this is mono y mono. And, we got to make sure that we fucking show up. Wimbush said that they were going to dominate us because they didn't dominate Wake Forest last week. They let them boys score 37 points, and they gave up 600 yards of offense. But yeah, Wimbush said that they would dominate Miami this week since they didn't dominate Wake Forest last week. Look, man, I'm going to tell y'all like this. First off, I see the game. I'm going to just give my prediction. I see the game being 35-20 Canes. Do I think we can lose this game, though? Absolutely. And if we lose this game, me personally, I don't think it'll be by a close margin. I think if we happen to lose this game, it'll be because we couldn't contain the run. Josh Adams is a beast. That's just what it is. There's no other way to get around it. I mean, he's a beast. He didn't really play last week because of an injury. I hope he's fully healthy. I hope Wimbush is, I hope they're both as healthy as possible. We don't need any excuses for when we beat their ass. I don't want to hear no excuses. So I hope Josh Adams is healthy. He's a beast, man. Like I said, the guy has, I think, 1,200 rushing yards. He's averaging, 130 something a game. He got a couple of 200-yard games, I think. But he's good for the big run. I think that dude got. I know Notre Dame leads the country and runs of 60 yards or more. If they not number one, they top three at least. But yeah, Adams he's good to pop a 60-yard touchdown easy. Big, strong kid. It's not as physical as I thought he would be to be that big. Based off of the film I saw anyway. But yeah, he'll hit a home run at any time, man. At any time, and usually almost all of his home runs come from running off the left side, basically kind of right up the middle. You know what I'm saying? Right between, the guard and the tackle, or either right between. Sometimes it'll hit between the center and the left guard because the left side of their offensive line is their really strong side. I think both of those guys over there are like all Americans or something. But up the middle, and when he hits up the middle, and what I've seen on the film is what Notre Dame will do is they'll put themselves in formations to kind of spread you out, especially in regards with the safety. So I hope Manny Diaz I mean, he should recognize this. It's pretty simple to me, but they pretty much do as much as they can to try to keep the middle of the field clear. And not fully clear, but make you commit to going one way or the other. And if Adams hits that hole, I mean, I've seen him caught, I think, once, maybe twice, but it was because he stumbled, not because, no, he did get caught one time. He just, he didn't do what he was supposed to do after he broke out. But my whole point is, like, the dude will hit a home run at any point. Um, the backup running back, Deion McIntosh, is actually RJ McIntosh's little brother. I don't know if y'all knew that, but he's had a pretty solid year. So he can definitely make plays out of the backfield as well. He's not as fast, but he has moves. I've seen, I guess, more power, quote unquote, out of him than Adams at times. But yeah, that's RJ McIntosh, little bro. Then they got a dude, Dexter Williams. He's averaging 9 yards a carry. He can get loose, when they give it to him. And by the way, Josh Adams is averaging 8.7 yards a pop. So pretty much damn near every time he touched the ball is equating to a first down. So we just have to make sure that we come ready to play. I think Wimbush is their second leading rusher, though. He has like 600-something yards on the year. He has 400-yard games. He has 13 rushing touchdowns. Now, Wimbush only has 1,200 passing yards, 11 TDs, 2 picks, been sacked 12 times. In the past game, they get their yards in chunks. And I don't mean like 40, 50-yard chunks, but 15 to 20 to 25 yards at a time is usually how they get theirs. They rarely do. As the season has progressed, they don't really throw short routes as much anymore. They run them, but Wimbush's eyes are more so down the field. So they don't do a lot of, like, they run screens sometimes, but they don't do a lot of dinking and dunking. They run crossing routes, deep posts, stuff like that. And they usually like to try to get him on the move, moving out of the pocket and whatnot. So they get him in chunks. They have 2 big receivers. One's Claypool. He's pretty big and physical. And then they got like St. Brown, number 6. He's made some pretty heady plays this year. They tight end, I think it's like Stymie or something like that. He's made some timely plays. More so their receivers have made timely catches more than anything. Wimbush, as the season has gone on, has thrown the ball better. Even though he only has 2 picks, I've seen him make multiple errant throws that should have been picked off. He's good for overshooting his targets. So that might benefit us, if Jaquan or Redwine is sitting back there and they catch a ball that's overshot. That's pretty much as far as the offense. In pass protection, they're not that good, in my opinion. But they do a really good job run blocking for the most part. I will say when they've played some more stout or closer to being good or elite defenses, the run game struggled mightily. We just can't run all of those stunts and stuff this game because they look to run inside. So we need to focus on gap control this game. Like, I know Diaz likes to run the stunts and stuff like that, but we can't really afford to do that because if we running, those stunts and, we crossing pressure up, if they call one of those runs up the middle and they catch us doing that and the middle opens up, it's a house call. So, I think defensively things need to be more simplistic this week. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for their offense, man. Like, Wimbush has 5 fumbles. He's only lost 3 of them, but he'll cough it up. They score, I think, 42 points a game, something like that, man. But they've been in battles. So even though the score doesn't indicate it, they've been in battles, whether if it was with NC State until late in the third quarter. Obviously, they was in a battle with UGA. There was a battle going on at some point with, Michigan State. You know what I'm saying? So some of these games where they, blew the roof off BC, they was having a tough time, I think, until like mid to late third quarter, and then they just was scoring touchdown after touchdown after touchdown on BC. I don't count the North Carolina game because Wimbush didn't play. Um, and then last week they got up big, and Wake Forest just was putting up points after points on them guys. I know Wimbush went down, but that has nothing to do with their defense. Their defense isn't good. They're not bad either, though. Like, their defense doesn't do anything well. They're just solid. Um, they not. Well, I take that back. They sideline to sideline. They actually run. They cover a lot of ground pretty fast in most of those games. When they was playing against superior athletes, though, like against USC, stuff like that, they made it a point, to make sure they did that. So they do run pretty well, sideline to sideline. But other than that, they don't do anything well. They do have one guy in the secondary that stands out. I think his name is Julian Love. He got 3 picks on the year, but he got 2 house calls. He's a gambler, though. So he likes to gamble and jump routes. So I would love to see a double move on him. Pump fake, hit him with the go. If so, he's done. 20 in their secondary is a liability. He's made some plays this year, but I've seen that boy get his ass heated up. Like I said, nobody on their defense stood out. Number 4 was on a lot of plays, actually. Number 4, I'm not really sure what position he plays. I didn't really look it up, but like I said, their defense really not good like that. I mean, they solid. That's pretty much it. No other way to put that. Pass rush, average. Run defense, average. Pass defense, below average. But they do force turnovers. I think they got like 9 picks on the year. I think they done forced like 19 turnovers total. I would like to note that 5 of those turnovers were bad snaps. So it wasn't necessarily forced by the defense making a play in a good play in the field. It was just, a botch snap and, they happened to recover it. So, it's just kind of like, eh. But, I've watched games where their offense and everything has stalled out. USC, they came out and they took it to them. It might have been 1 or 2 other games where that happened, but other than that, they wear you down. You know what I'm saying? Like that run game between Wimbush and Adams and McIntosh, like it wears you down. You know what I'm saying? And then they got the little reverse that they run with Stefferson or whatever like that. Yeah, man, they just, like I said, they just wear you down. Their defense has been opportunistic. I can say that. Like I said, they force the turnovers and everything. But we'll see. I don't think they match up with us well at all. They can't cover us like their DBs. We're elite at the skill position. I would like to make sure we're elite at the skill position. I think we can play with anybody in the country when it comes down to those skill positions, and they can't cover us. I'm looking for Richards to actually play well and have a big game. I mean, he hasn't had a big game all year, I don't think. I need you to step up, bro. Like, tear these dudes to shreds. Barrios is a mismatch on almost every safety in college football right now. He's killing them in the slot. Herndon is a mismatch almost every time. I mean, Jeff Thomas, you get when 20 lines up and guards Jeff Thomas, we need to take the shot down the field. I guarantee you he gets heated almost every time. The same way they was picking on 36 until he made that interception, I think we should pick on 20 like that. But we have to establish our run game. If we don't establish our run game, me personally, I think we're going to lose. That's how important it is for us to establish our run game, because it's the same thing as last week. What if Malik doesn't play as well, but the run game was going good enough? You feel what I'm saying? To the point where it didn't really matter. So, man, we got to establish the run game for sure. Um, Malik has to show up and play. He has to play well. This is the biggest game I think Miami has played probably since we lost the national championship to Ohio State on that fluke ass bullshit with that late ass pass interference call. But I think that's the biggest game since then, man. And we gotta come and show up. We gotta get it done. We have to. Um, this game has no bearing on the ACC championship, but if we gonna push forward for this college football playoff, every game we have is a must win. And I personally think that we're a better team than Notre Dame, mainly because Notre Dame is so one dimensional for the most part, and it has gotten them through the year. But when it hasn't worked, for example, against Georgia, Georgia held them to 56 rushing yards. Granted, that was the first game of the year, so they was working stuff out with their offense, but they still had Josh Adams back there, and it just was ineffective, so they had to go away from it. You know what I'm saying? Michigan State held them boys to a low amount. I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't as good. They had to go away from it. Um, they shredded. I think they shredded Wake Forest last week. Nah, I don't think it was as bad. They might have did 300. I'm not sure, but they've had some games, 400, 300, 300, because they averaging, I think, damn near 400 yards. But that don't even matter to me, because, like I said, against UGA and Michigan State, and it was somebody else, I can't really think of it right now. When the up front was a little more stout, they weren't able to do that. They're not just bullying people around like that. That's just based off the competition they've been playing. And then last game, Wimbush actually threw the ball, way more, and was effective doing it actually, because Adams wasn't playing or whatever. But so Rick, just continue to open up the playbook, man. Open it up a little more. Um, we'll see, man. I honestly would like to see them, do a little more on offense. But if we come with the same game plan that we had, last week, cool. I think we'll win the game with that game plan, to be honest. What I would like to see, though, is if we pretty much went to kind of like an empty or a wildcat set, but had DJ Dallas at quarterback and ran him in that setup a few times, or you know what I'm saying, and then ended up passing out of that formation since he can throw. That might be a nice little wrinkle to throw in there. But yeah, man, we just gotta handle business. As far as Wimbush, he can break a long run for sure, for sure. We just have to be able to contain him, man. We have to be able to contain that guy. But I think if we just play our game, I think we'll beat these guys. I mean, I do think they have some really good wins. Between beating Michigan State was a good win, even though it was earlier in the year, but that's a good win. I don't care how you slice it. And then they went back to back and they destroyed SC, and then they beat NC State in a good game, because that game was like, back and forth to like, I think, late third quarter. And Notre Dame broke loose. I think Adams ended up breaking a long run to like seal the deal, kind of, but it's a good game, man. I definitely think that, like I said, 35-20. The defense just has to show up and play well. I think we should not be so aggressive this game, in a sense of Manny Diaz, like, don't be sending all these crazy blitzes and stuff like that. It just need to be gap assignment, bro. That's it. Because the one thing that we are not good at, but we did really good last game, is just assignment football. Virginia Tech had all of them smoke screens with that bum-ass offense, and I want you to think I'm going here and send them in motion and do this. So, but we kept it simple. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I barely even knew Pinkney was playing. I didn't even really know Pinckney was playing, and I think that was because Manny Diaz emphasized to them boys this week, no hero ball. Like Pinckney is very instinctive, so sometimes he just makes reads and goes and makes the play. But I think Diaz's thing was, I don't care what your instincts are. If you know you have a certain guy or a certain gap integrity, keep it. Because if you don't and you guess wrong, we'll get gashed. So if I need that same discipline this week, that same discipline we had against Virginia Tech, I need that same discipline, dog. And if we come and play discipline like that, it's no way they're gonna beat us. It's no way. And if we end up jumping out early, if we jump out early, or if we jump out and force Wimbush to have to pass, me personally, the turnover chain's gonna come out a hell of a lot. He's also been stripped on some sack fumble plays, like I think 2 or 3 times. But if we force him to pass, turnover chain gonna be out in full effect. And I don't mean pass when they want to, but if we put them in obvious passing downs, they not gonna be able to handle the pass rush. And if we have somebody sitting there to spy to make sure, that he don't like able to like make that cut and go full speed, it's gonna be a long day for them guys. He talking shit, telling me he gonna dominate us, man. To be honest, man, let me just be real. Like I said, Notre Dame has some really good wins, but if we play how we played last week, we're going to win this game in a convincing fashion. I just gotta be sure that them boys gonna come show to play. Now that I know that we can play like that, and it's been apparent, man. We just been teetering. We've been winning all year, but then we had a dominant victory. Like that's the same case this week. Then I'll holler at you, Notre Dame. We just gotta keep getting better and better, man. This team is, in my opinion, is kind of right on track to be where we need to be. Like I said, man, college game day is there. I know folks gonna be picking against us and stuff, but I don't really care, man. It's kind of like I love the mentality that Quarterman has. He pretty much feels like it's Miami against the world, and it is. It's the you against the world, baby. But we love it. We gonna thrive off of it, man. I want to see that turnover chain keep coming out, man. Balling out. You know what I'm saying? Somebody on defense make a big play. I want to see them take off their helmet and do the air read. This is how Miami do. You know what I'm saying? Like these other schools, when we're playing the way we played on Saturday, we nobody's gonna beat us. Malik threw 3 picks and we still had a dominating game. Nobody's gonna beat us, man. And the game is already sold out except for the suites. So I know the Rock going crazy this weekend. Going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the fans, man. You know what I'm saying? That showed up and, made it, that kind of environment. It's going to be the same thing this week, man. We're going to see what Notre Dame really made of. And I guess we're going to see what we really made of as well, man. Whoever loses this game is done as far as with the college football playoff. This is pretty much an early playoff elimination game. If Miami loses, we're done. We still can go to the ACC championship game. Even if we went out and beat Clemson, they're not going to let us in. If Notre Dame loses, they're toast. They don't even have a championship game they play. I don't see them getting in with 2 losses, even unless Miami and Georgia both go undefeated and end up 1-2. Hypothetically. I know it's a big hypothetical, but I'm just saying. So whoever loses this game is out of the college football playoff. As far as everything else, man, I still been seeing some people talk about Travis Homer vision. They don't know what the hell they talking about. I just convinced that y'all only watch the game live and don't ever even thinking about playing it back and stuff like that. But that's neither here nor there. Talking about Homer vision, but he made the cut and then hit up. Okay, never mind. But yeah, man, Richards need you to show up. Homer, come out balling. DJ Dallas, Berrios, I expect you to do what you do. Herndon, same thing. Malik, Show up, play big defense. I expect y'all to, have a good game. We contain them. We win. It's that simple. One.